Hello everyone, welcome back to all of you in the Smelly Army. So today we've got something a little bit different. It's one of my impromptu unedited videos without an intro. I do usually one a week of these, often or nearly always an unboxing type video or first impressions on something that's arrived in the post, sometimes from this point of view where you don't see me. Easy way for me to get out a video that's hopefully still entertaining for you and give you maybe 3 videos a week instead of just 2 because I've got time to do this. So today something a bit different. It's going to be some fragrances, new ones from Parfums Vintage, which I'm quite excited about actually. Before we get into that, a little bit of a teaser for you. I'm going to be releasing a book alongside the lovely Claire from the Smurfy Girly channel. We're going to do a Parfums the Guide type book, a little bit like maybe Luca Turin and Tanya Sanchez Parfums the Guide, which there are 2 versions of, an older one and a 2018 version. Time we had our version, we think. So if you're interested in that, please let us know in the comments below. Hopefully we're going to be releasing that as a digital book that you can read online or on your tablet or whatever, and also a real paperback that you can actually have and hold. Very excited. Let us know if there are any particular fragrances that we should really include. I think we might go for 101 fragrances. We've written quite a few of the reviews already, but let us know what you think about that one. The other thing to mention to you all is please go and head over to mrsmelly.com, my website, where I have a weekly written review or article about fragrances. I hope to expand that side of my fragrance game, and I think that some of the articles on there might be of interest. The latest one is 5 great niche fragrances for under £100 each. Most of them you'll know about if you follow my channel, but it still might be an interesting article for you. The other little thing is my Instagram. Links to all this stuff that I've mentioned at the website and the Instagram are in the description below. That's at Mr. Smelly 1977. Every day, nearly every day, I give you a picture and usually a mini review of some kind of fragrance or some kind of fragrance related content. Well worth following me on there, don't miss out. The other really exciting thing to tell you about today then is we're going to have an interview with Damien Stammers, the man behind Parfums Vintage, very soon coming up on my channel. Please let me know in the comments below what questions you would like me to ask him, and any requests you've got. Is there a fragrance you're desperate for him to do? But mainly, I guess, we want to have some questions. You know, why are there so many different pineapple vintage variations? That's an obvious one. Other questions about how he makes the scents, how he got into perfume. I've got a few that I've thought of already. I want to include as many as I can questions from or comments from you that I can put to the man himself, Damien Stammers. I hope we can get him on camera. I'm not meeting him in person, but we'll be able to dial it in somehow. And I'm really excited that that's coming up on the channel. So please let me know what you'd like to ask or what you'd like me to ask him, and I'll try and accommodate as many of those as I can. Now, let's get stuck into it. Parfums Vintage, of course, famous for pineapple vintage in many variations, and that is their clone of Creed's Aventus, which there are many, many versions of. Pineapple Vintage Original, Pineapple Vintage Noir, Noir Intense, Pineapple Vintage Vanilla Intense, King Intense. Now they've got the new one. I'm kind of a bit excited, actually. I like the packaging, by the way, lovely plaque there. And this one is Emperor. So if you've had the King, Aventus often called the King, so they did a fragrance called King, and Emperor's the next level up. Love it. Okay, I've just had this, they all arrived yesterday. Thanks very much to the company. I will put a link to their website. This is their latest take to go even further in giving people much more choice in different versions of Aventus. Some more fruity, some more smoky. This one, supposedly just a really well-balanced fragrance that maybe mimics the better, really well-balanced older batches of Aventus. Many people fed up that the newer formulations from Creed seem to be a little bit weaker or just not as good as the fragrance used to be in its glory days. So Emperor, my first impression, extremely juicy and really great performance. Really, really nice fragrance and a great substitute maybe for Aventus. The price is not cheap. The 50ml here that I've got, there's 100ml as well, but for the 50ml, you're looking at $95 or whatever that translates to in pounds. So they're not cheap, but they, on my impression so far, and with my past history of owning a lot of them, they are extremely good, and it's still less than Aventus itself. And of course, you can't get older batches very easily at all that are reputedly superior to the modern stuff. And then they've gone ahead and given us Emperor Extract. So even stronger. This is an eau de parfum, kind of the same thing, but supposedly even stronger. Smell very similar to me. Really, really nice and juicy and potent, and Aventus-like. Not identical, but very close. And there's always a little bit of this different pineapple vintage DNA. The company, of course, all about doing copies of famous niche and designer fragrances. The next one that I received received yesterday is Sandal Amber. That's their version of Tom Ford's Amber Absolute. They've upped their game with the packaging on the non-pineapple vintage fragrances, so we now get a nice plaque instead of a sticker, and the sticker on the bottom identifies which fragrance. The first one with dark juice, and of course based on Tom Ford's Amber Absolute, a really sweet, ambery, woody fragrance, exotic, very, very nice. Really enjoying that one on first impressions. I haven't compared it to the original much yet, but the fragrance in and of itself is excellent. Cacophony is the next one, and this is their take on Chanel's Coromandel, an exclusive from Chanel, Les Exclusives, or Les Exclusives, and it's the Eau de Toilette version that they've copied. They used to be Eau de Toilettes, then they were reformulated as Eau de Parfums. Most people say it was better. They smelled better when they were Eau de Toilettes. So they're calling this Parfums Vintage an Eau de Toilette. I suspect it's still really more like Eau de Parfum concentration of oil, but they just wanted to highlight that they are really trying to copy the vintage juice. Lovely, fresh, green, slightly retro smelling scent to me, with loads of rose and patchouli. I think he said he'd used 3 or 4 different types of patchouli, 2 types of rose, very natural, very high quality smelling. I'm really impressed with all these ones actually. They really smell both strong and very, very high quality. You don't feel like it's a knockoff or a clone. It's like smelling a real niche fragrance. Again, I haven't got the original. I will try and source samples of these to compare, but the in and of itself, beautiful. The next one that we've got here is X-Batch Intense. So X-Batch, the original from Parfums Vintage, crossed Creed Aventus with Dior Sauvage, so very crowd pleasing DNA indeed. So the usual pineapple vintage smell crossed a little bit with the Ambroxan, so famous in making Dior Sauvage a really successful fragrance, a really fresh, woody kind of accord. This is the intense version, so I guess it's going to be maybe even stronger in performance. The original was very good, and maybe just the latest attempt to take it to the next level and improve it. Damien Stammers, the perfumer, very passionate about the quality of his fragrances. So the last one, Imbue. This one surprised me because it's their take on Gucci Pour Homme 2 from the house of Gucci, obviously, and that one apparently discontinued, although you can still usually at the moment find it without massive difficulty if you want to get a bottle of the original. And this is their take on that one, famous for having a really nice tea accord and very pleasant on first impressions. Okay, that's all we have time for today. Thanks very much for joining me, and let me know in the comments below what you thought about these fragrances. Are you excited by any particular one or two of them? Let me know. Remember, whatever we're doing in life, let's project. See you in the next video. Bye bye.